Hey, welcome to Watch Candy. Today is another installment in the most colorful series that has ever existed, my favorite rainbow watches of all time. I am super excited to get into this. You know colorful watches are my thing, and I have dressed for the occasion. I have been as bedazzled as I possibly can because, we gotta be shining for the most colorful possible episode there is. I'm really excited to jump right in and get blown away by this oversaturated awesomeness. So I know by the intro I made it sound like all of these watches are super colorful, and I mean, they're all rainbow, so they're all colorful, right? Well, actually, this first watch is very, very dark. But that's not to say it isn't bursting with color as well. This is the Chronoswiss Open Gear Resec Candy Shop. Now, aside from the absolute explosion of color against the black case and dial, what immediately catches my eye is the regulator style of this watch. Now, if you don't know, a regulator is a watch readout style where the hours, minutes, and seconds are all separate. One register is completely separate that reads the hours, the other is completely separate that reads the minutes, and then at the very bottom you'll see a gauge that reads the seconds. Now what's cool about this is that the seconds reader is actually a retrograde seconds, which means that every 30 seconds the hand will pass across this arc and then snap back. So it makes 2 passes per minute, which is going the extra mile with complication. It's super unnecessary, but visually really intriguing and very complex to make, and is one of my favorite complications. Now let's get straight into the details. You'll notice that different parts of the dial's construction are vibrant colors, which is amazing. I think this is so pretty. And to tie everything in to make this all just such an interesting watch is a hand-done guilloche dial with a beautiful black coating on top of it. But the fun doesn't stop there. Once you turn off the lights, this watch boasts some impressive multicolored lume. Now, this watch is limited to 50 pieces, so it has sold out, which is sad because, I like this watch and it would have been cool to buy it, but it's also 15,000 euros, so I don't really know if it was really in the realm of possibility for me anyway. And who knows, maybe on the secondary market it's doing really well. Now, with this next watch, we are transitioning just from color configurations to crazy bling. I'm talking all sorts of multicolored stones, sapphires, rubies, savorites, everything you can possibly think of to make a perfect spectrum. And it all starts with this Piaget Limelight Gala. Now, one of the things that Piaget does so well, even to this day, is their gorgeous carved designs. You'll notice this piece is made from 18 karat rose gold, and it has this amazing texture carved in through the whole bracelet and onto the dial. It very much reminds me of tree bark, but this one has an extra special treat. You'll notice the bezel and the lugs have a full spectrum of rainbow colored stones. Now, this watch isn't just my favorite. It actually did win a GPHG award for a ladies watch back in 2021, and I just want to point out how incredibly difficult it is to source and match stones that create this perfect fade from one color to the next. It is not only time intensive, but very expensive to do. Going forward, as we start looking at these crazy gem set watches, starting with this Piaget, I want to really keep that in our minds. Every single one of these stones had to be individually sourced and set by hand. So it really is no wonder to me how this watch won such an esteemed award. If you're interested in it, it is going for approximately $119,000 right now. The more you know, I guess. Okay, I might have lied a little bit. This next watch doesn't have any stones in it, but this watch is still considerably rainbow. This is the Louis Moinet Artech Tourbillon. Obviously, this watch has tons going on with the dial, so let me break it down for you. This watch was created for Only Watch back in 2023, which is an auction where brands submit one-of-one pieces to be auctioned off for charity. And to go the extra mile with this rainbow theme, the dial is created out of silicon wafer circuits. Those are little microchips, essentially, that are in all sorts of electronic, which, as you can see, have this beautiful iridescent rainbow effect, not only from viewing head on, but as the watch is rotated and tilted at different angles, the colors on that spectrum dramatically change. They didn't just stop at an incredibly creative dial, they also, of course, threw in a gorgeous tourbillon with their caliber LM135. And if you're curious, this watch did sell for approximately 700,000 Swiss francs. Going back into these crazy gem set watches, our next watch is the AP Royal Oak Offshore Music Edition. There's a couple different variations of this watch. We're going with the full gem rainbow version, and this watch is meant to look like a VU meter, which is, you know, the thing with all the little bars going up and down. And how they've accomplished this gorgeous look is by combining aventurine glass and all sorts of different colored gemstones. What I really love about this watch is that the bezel isn't a full spectrum all the way around. The colors actually correlate with the VU meter on the dial. It is set in a 37mm white gold case and sports the caliber 5909 from AP. For this last watch, we're going all in. This watch is the Hublot MP15 Takashi Murakami Tourbillon Sapphire Rainbow. And this watch is crazy. I mean, obviously, look at it. But not only does it have this incredibly artistic and artisanal spectrum of stones going all throughout the flower petals on the bezel, but the watch is made from a combination of full sapphire and titanium. The stones are set in the titanium bezel, and there's 444 of them. I love how the tourbillon is at the direct center of this watch, which is technically complicated because it's a tourbillon, but it also is where the hands should be. So you'll notice the hands are actually peeking around on the outside of the tourbillon. This watch, I will admit, is a definite love it or hate it watch, but so are all rainbow watches. So you've made it this far. If you're not aware, Takashi Murakami does all sorts of really cool art. He's definitely known for his iconic flower design. He's one of my personal favorite artists, and of course, his love of color is absolutely awesome. Powering the watch is the HUB 9015 movement. And I know Hublot definitely can be controversial with their watchmaking, but this example right here is definitely where they shine. The watch is limited to 20 pieces worldwide and retails for $374,000. 100% would buy. That is all I've got for part 2 of this Rainbow Watches series. I hope you enjoyed. Again, I love watches that celebrate color and utilize it to the best of their ability. I think that adds so much joy, not only to watchmaking, but to the wearing experience as a whole. So I am absolutely happy to keep going over all of these incredible rainbow watches in the world. Make sure to join Watch Candy for my next videos, and don't forget to check out part 1 of this series. Thank you again so much for joining in today. I will see you all next time. Goodbye.